Alright guys, here's the scenario. So we have recorded the podcast near the beach, and because of the sea noise, the podcast audio track contained the sea noise. So as an audio engineer, your duty is remove that sea noise and create a clean and professional podcast. So this is the podcast file and let me play this to you.
On this episode of Mindset Monday, I want to talk to you about
So you can see the audio is clear, vocal is clear, but there is a huge background noise which is captured from the sea. So let's see how to remove that inside Adobe Audition. So in here, in the effect panel, you can see there is a separate tab for the noise reduction and restoration. There are various effects that we can use to reduce noise, background noises in an audio clip. So depending on your situation, you have to use the best option. So you have to know all about things. In this video, we are going to take a look at the denoise effect. So when you click on denoise, you will get a dialog box like this. So let me explain this dialog box to you. You can see a huge graph here. On this graph, on the x-axis, there is the frequency range. This is the 20 Hertz and this is the 20 kilohertz point. That means as we all know that human ear can only hear between 20 Hertz to 20,000 Hertz, right? So that is the frequency range represented in this x-axis. On the y-axis, you can see the volume of that each frequency range. So when you drag this, you can see the frequency, the spectral frequency graph of this audio track, right? So let me for now let me change this amount to 0 and let me play this. So the red graph disappeared. I'll explain it later. So you can see the frequency range, right? So it's between by you looking at this graph, we can see the frequency range, and on the y-axis we can identify the volume of that frequency ranges. Like here, like the audio file is around minus 30 decibels. So we can understand the frequency range and its volume. So this effect has 3 presets default. The default option, you can see when we add that, the amount changed to 40%, and when we add the heavy noise reduction, the amount changed to 80%, and if you change it to light noise reduction, it will change to 20%. So what is the meaning of this amount, right? So let me explain that. So before to fine-tune this effect, I'll select a portion of this noise only section. You can see now we can hear the noise only. If you want to hear it more loudly, you can normalize that voice to like minus 3 decibel or 0.1, like this. So now you can clearly hear the background noise. So our task is completely remove that background noise from this audio file. This effect is pretty simple. So you can change the noise reduction amount between 0 to 100%. 0 means there is no noise reduction. When you play this, you can see the red graph disappeared. That means no frequencies is removed from this audio file. So the red graph represents the what kind of frequencies has been removed from this this audio file, right? So by that way we can fine tune the noise flow and we can remove the noise frequencies. So in order to apply this effect, I'll play this audio track and I am going to increase the amount, right? Let me show you that. You can see when you increase the amount, the noise volume is going to be down, and you can completely remove that from this audio file. So what is the meaning of this red graph? The red graph showing the frequency ranges that is removing from this audio track. In here you can see there is the cross between the vocal frequency and the noise frequency. That means when you apply this effect also remove this part of the frequency of the vocal, right? So that is not pretty good. But when you are removing noise, sometimes you have to take out the original signal a little bit, right? So you can also listen to that part using this output noise only, right? By checking this, we can listen to the part that has been removed from this audio file. Let me play this. So if you take a look at this middle section,
Talk to you about the number one thing.
you can see a little bit of the voice, right? So that means the little bit of this voice has been removed from this audio file. So our task is we must smoothly fine tune the right amount so we can reduce the noise without affecting too much to the original voice. Right, so the task is you must balance between the noise and the how much does it affect to the original vocal, right? So once you fine tune the position, here you can see a level meter. Using that you can understand what is the output level, right? So when you make this uncheck, you can see we can activate the gain meter. So by that way, the reason for that is when you're reducing a noise from a file, it reduces the overall volume of the audio track. So using this gain slider, we can increase the final volume.
I think that you should talk to you about the number one thing I think that you should.
So as you can see, now we have removed that noise from this audio file and we can get the final gain as we need. Right, so the main task is fine tune the amount between 0 and 100%. In here you can see processing focus. You can turn on each type of these buttons. So what is the meaning of that? The first one is when you hover the mouse, you can see focus on all frequencies. That means this effect is completely applied to the entire frequency range. That means 20 Hertz to 20,000 Hertz. So this effect completely applied to the all frequency range. If you select the second option, you can see it's focused on lower frequencies. That means this effect only affect to the lower frequency ranges. So if you don't know about the lower frequency ranges, normally we consider like between 20 Hertz to 500 Hertz, like to this point, right? So we consider these frequencies are lower frequencies. And the next option is you can target the mid frequency. So mid frequency range is 500 Hertz to 5000 Hertz. So we call it mid frequency, and you can also target the higher frequency, right? So in here you can target the higher frequency. The higher frequency range means 5000 Hertz to 20,000 Hertz. So that's the frequency range, or we also call that the treble. Also for the lower frequencies we call the bass. Using these options we can target which frequency range are we going to apply this effect. So those are the basic tasks of this, and once you fine tune the effect, and you can apply the effect. So let me play this again to you to see the final result.
Thing I think that you should be striving to achieve with your private practice. Stay tuned. On this episode of Mindset Monday,
so this is with the effect and this is without the effect.
I want to talk to you about the number one thing.
So you can see there is a huge difference. The main task is you must reduce the noise without affecting to the without too much affecting to the original vocal. So that's it for the noise effect. I think you understand all the buttons in this dialog box, and if you have any question you can let me know about that, and I'll be back with the next video. Thanks.